So, a couple of years ago, about the time that I met my lovely wife, a little bit before that, my friend Joe Henry, no relation to me, knew I was looking for a house. So he said, I've got this opportunity, and a friend of ours is selling a house. They're getting too old, they can't handle it. And they want to know if, we have somebody that's interested, and we thought about you. So I went over and looked at this house, and we call it the Laurel House now. And I did some video. Here's part one of the remodel. All right. This is 960 square feet. It's got a 2-car garage. It is the ugliest gray I have ever seen in my entire life. And it's got a faux 2-story. What they did was they took the ceiling out, or not, I shouldn't say the ceiling. They reconfigured the attic upstairs in order to handle some more additional space there. It's not in pretty bad shape. It's got a few items here that are troublesome. Maybe a little bit of rust and dry rot, a little bit of shingles coming off there, and it's got the ugliest shutters I've ever seen in my entire life. It's going to be pretty much an entire rehab. The only problem is figuring out how to finance it all. So it's sort of like a DIY on a budget. It does have a wood stove in it, or it did. They made us take it out for the appraisal, and I will probably leave it out. I don't see any reason to have a wood stove here. It doesn't get cold enough in the winter time to really need that. This is the backyard here. I tell you what, let's walk around here and we'll go in the inside and see what it looks like on the inside. Now I would consider myself a experienced DIYer. I have done a lot of remodels and a lot of rehabs, a lot of building on homes. So I think I got this, no problem. But here's the entryway. Now this used to be separate from the garage, and they have put it together here. And we have a little bit of water damage right there. But now this is not structural, so I can take this out and rehab it at any time if I want to. Now, I don't know if they turned off the power or not, so we'll have to see. If they've already turned the power off, then I'm going to have to wait until... Nope, it's still on. Okay. So this is the garage. It's a pretty substantial garage, and the hot water heater is in here. I may put the washer and dryer in here as well. We'll have to see how that goes. So anyway, that's what we're looking at there. I'm going to store some things in here for a little while until I get it figured out what I'm going to do there. So that's the garage area, and then of course we go right across from the garage and we go into the main housing unit. As you can see, the main housing unit is a lot to be desired here, but that's why I want to get some good video of this, because I want you to see and appreciate what this is going to look like when it gets done here. So this is the kitchen space, and they've left nothing in here. I imagine that would be where the refrigerator went. But my plan is to remodel this almost like a movable kitchen, where the island will be movable. There won't be as many counter spaces here. Probably do cabinets all along this wall with an island and a stove and one of those small French design refrigerators if I leave that wall there. I may see, this is the kitchen nook here where they do the eating, and of course these ceiling tiles are all coming out and replacing it with sheetrock. This is the living room area here, and look at that. They really, I don't know what they were thinking. This is crazy. These are wood cedar shingles, and they are really nailed up to the wall here, so I'm going to be taking those out. And if I can possibly, I have to check to see if this is a load-bearing wall. I may bring this wall back more and open the kitchen up. Even if I only open it up a little bit more, it may be the thing to do. I'll do a single sink. They got a double sink here. I'll do a single sink and maybe save about a foot of space. in there as I do that. So all this is going to come out. The flooring, pretty much the same thing. They had carpeting in here, but all this will have to come out. I have to do some rewiring on here as well. That is where the wood stove was. I'll remove that. Here is the wood stove. I will sell that. See who wants to buy that. Then here is the bathroom. Now, if you'll notice the design on this bathroom, what they've done here is the hallway is a straight hallway. And then they've taken an inset here. So from the hallway in here is about 2.5 feet. And then there's a doorway to the bathroom. Well, my plan is to bring that all out to here. So kind of get an idea. So bring the doorway out to here and then make it a pocket door so that it'll slide back into it, so I don't have to worry about that. And that way, that'll open up the bathroom for a lot more space, because as you can see, it's maybe about 20 inches wide here at the center. In fact, let's see, what do we got here? It is exactly 20 inches wide. That was a good guess, by the way. But they've done some stuff down here. They put linoleum. They actually did at one time remodel this and put in the new bathroom, but I'm going to tile because I like tile. And I may do, if I can get this extra space like I was talking about, I may do a tub and shower separate from one another. And then all this is going to have to come out. A new ceiling fan, new lighting, new fixtures, new ceiling, all that stuff. Hey, how you doing? So that's what we're like here. Now, as we go through here, we go into the next room. This is the first bedroom. This is what they consider the master bedroom. Now, they've made a closet here, all right, and this is a fairly deep closet, but I'm not so sure that I want to keep this here. My thoughts were, I'm pretty sure these are 32-inch doors, right? No, they're 30-inch doors. All right, so they're 30-inch doors here. If I were to put a 30-inch door here, I could come about a foot, about 14 inches back and widen that bathroom a little bit. And then put the door here, close this off, right? And then open that up to make it a bigger closet. So that's what I'm thinking. All right, so that's that room there. Now off to the side, this is another odd place because they had to put stairs in order to allow for the ceiling, or allow for the room upstairs, and we'll show you that in a minute here. But in the meantime, what we've got here is a room that's been cut up and another room that's been put in here to make it a separate room, and I think we're going to have to take that out. I don't think we're going to be able to leave that in here. And then this teeny tiny small bedroom, which will probably be a recording studio of some sort. So that might be what I do with this room in here. Or I may open it all up. I may open this all up into this room here and see where we go from there. Well, that concludes part one. We'll have more. I didn't want to make it too long. Otherwise, you get too bored with that. But then I'll show you more of the house before we touch it on the next video. Tune in.